can't even believe it's been 10 years since we shot The Factory. It just seems like yesterday. I had my head shaved bald and I was running through a field with an axe and with blood all over me. I just can't believe how fast time has went. I guess time flies when you're having fun. I remember I worked an overnight about a little over 10 years ago, and it was in a group home, and I happened to see a commercial on TV, one of those like sleeping aid commercials, where after the sleeping aid commercial, it was showing all the side effects. And I thought about that for a moment, and I started jotting ideas down on a little notepad, and I was like, what if there was something that people took for something positive, but there was all these negative side effects at the same time? And then a little rabbit hole thought about hypnosis and how, you thought about these hypnotic type sessions where people would, quit smoking because they're hypnotized, or they would forget about horrible memories that they've endured in their life because of hypnosis. But what if hypnosis was used as control? So the deeper we went into the idea of hypnosis and mind control, so many things started popping up. Media, our own culture, our own belief systems, religion, and a lot of these central ideas end up getting blended in to this almost 100-page script me and my friend at the time wrote. And a lot of interesting things happened. We started planning after we sat in our office. We had a self-promotion business where we do everything from website design to business cards, and you name it, we did it. But on our off hours, we'd stay at the office because me and him still lived at home with our parents. We'd stay at the office till wee hours of the morning. So we started writing the script based on the concept that I had started and the outline I had started. And we figured once we were done writing the script, we just rent some equipment from offline because, renting equipment, I guess, is cheap, we thought. And we would get some buddies together and we'd shoot this bad boy and then edit it ourselves. But things, I guess, happen for a reason. We end up going to a mixer, and we end up meeting up with a bunch of different filmmakers at the mixer. It was for another local film festival, the Hoboken International Film Festival, at a mixer. And we ended up going to one of their mixers, and we met this guy named Simon Fridlick, who he was a past filmmaker himself, and he went to school for it, but he had a family and years had went by, and he was looking to find a screenplay to produce and shoot, basically free of charge. And here we were, filmmakers with a script, looking to plan the whole thing ourselves, and he had the equipment to do the job. So we ended up linking up with him, and the rest was history. Almost immediately, we started planning locations, planning our casting process, and little by little, my little idea that happened in the middle of an overnight shift turned into a reality. We ended up hosting a big audition process at our old office building. We had over 100 people show up from all different walks of life, from children to the elderly. It was mind-blowing. I felt like at a moment I was Simon Cowell or Randy Jackson from American, what the hell is it? From one of those, talent shows. And it was just an experience I'll never forget as long as I live. And I'm not saying that I don't ever enjoy judging people, because that's what I feel you're doing, is like sitting over here by a casting panel like American Idol. That's the show, American Idol. But sometimes the right thing happens in the right moment. Someone walks in that room during audition, and your character from your screenplay just walked right off the page into your face. So here comes this, actor Mike Sutton, super professional, clean-cut guy. Looks like he could be in like The Wolf of Wall Street. He comes there and he reads some of the lines for one of the main characters. And I think about it for a moment and I'm like, maybe you should try for the doctor. Let's have him read for the doctor instead. Let's do that instead of him reading for, whatever character he's reading for, Jaden in the factory. So he reads for the doctor, and in that moment I know, I gotta have this guy. So anyways, the process is over. I feel like, my dream as a child is coming true. I literally had goosebumps. But it wasn't set in stone yet. We haven't filmed yet. And I haven't necessarily locked down the characters I wanted, because that's the part of the process. You might have the perfect person to play your part, but they have to accept, the role. So I remember in my parents' bedroom, pacing around, nervous as hell. I was starting to make calls to some of the cast and crew that I wanted, and a lot of them were accepting. Some couldn't based on scheduling conflict. But I remember calling Mike Sutton for the very first time. And here I am, trying to be very professional, even though I can hear like my stepmom and dad like talking in the next room and like running around. But I'm this big shot, right? I'm this big shot director that's trying to make things happen for other people. But here I am calling Mike Sutton. And I remember how professional he was on the phone. I was so fucking nervous. I'm like, this guy right here, and he was asking me all these questions about how I was planning to do things and what my plans are with the film. And I think I made him believe I had all the answers, that I knew what I was doing. And at the end of the call, he accepted the role. And I'll never forget that phone call because I had to make sure that my promises I made to this guy, he was coming from, I believe, Philadelphia, up to the Catskills, Hudson Valley area to film a feature, that this movie would get finished. He had expressed to me that a lot of independent films that are extremely ambitious don't get completed, and he really didn't want to waste his time. And I had to assure him that, hey, we're serious. We have the equipment to do the job. We're really gung-ho about this. And he accepted the role. So I was my other partners, and I was like, listen, we got to make sure this happens. And they're like, well, of course it's going to happen. We're already putting our time and effort in this. And I said, no, we need to make sure this shit happens. I said, because in my mind, the reality didn't really click in yet. We're dealing with people's free time. And ourselves, we didn't have much free time ourselves. We were busy all the time working, balancing our own business. And now we were doing a feature-length film on the side on our days off. We have to make sure that this is awesome. So we're like, okay, well, how are we gonna do that now? Like, okay, Simon got equipment and stuff so we can make the movie, and we have some of the locations agreeing, but we need a little bit of money. And I remember we were like all looking at each other like, what are we gonna do? We were broke as shit. So I remember I took out like irresponsible, close your ears, little kids. But I took out a credit card at the time. I went to Walmart. It was like my very first like real credit card. And they gave me a few $1,000s. And I maxed that bitch out with snacks for casting crew, not prop, but like pellet guns for props for the film. Basically any type of supply we would need for the production, I purchased in Walmart, as well as like using my paychecks from week to week to make sure things happened. In that moment, I realized this is going to be kind of expensive, and I knew it. I don't think no one realized during that time period that this is going to be expensive. Feeding people day to day, making sure that you have some sort of safety things on set, whether it's like a first aid kit, making sure you have all the props needed for each day. I mean, you write stuff very ambitious, Charles, but I think I've learned since the factory days to limit some of the ambition when it comes to things I have to personally buy. But yeah, it went through. But we hadn't shot yet. So, anyways, we'll get to that. So the first day production literally is a scene where my character Cliff is highlighted. Like it's my main scene. It's like my death scene. And it's like the day that I believe that we needed the most extras in the entire film. So here we never filmed a movie before. A few volunteers came. I remember Ty Santiago, Nick Turco, a few other people. I'm sorry if I didn't tag your name. And Simon Fridlick. They all came with their cameras. And nobody had a duty. Nobody was told, like, you're camera A, camera B, camera C. This is what you're going to be doing. This is what you're going to be doing. So all these extras were standing around. We're filming. And I have it all in my head what I want. But as a director, I need to convey that to people. And I didn't fucking do it. I was nervous. There was all these strangers, clearly clean cut, really professional actors. You had Mike Sutton, his first day on set, you know, Anthony Tether, first day on set, a few other, Jordan Kay, and I don't know how many other people. First day on set, Josephine Moon Bloomfield, who's produced countless other productions. I don't know why she produced me in the future, given my first movie, how much of a shit show our first day was, but I guess she saw the promise in the future. But that day was nuts. It started to rain. Simon was like, I'm about to put my equipment back in the house. Someone accidentally spilled blood, fake blood on his carpets. We had all these makeup artists not knowing what to do. No one was guiding them on what to do. So they were like doing glamour makeup on a scene that had nothing to do with it. So the point I'm getting at here is all the chaos in that moment led to, you know, it's a miracle that the scene came out at all. But I just wish I would have knew what I know now if I was to recreate that scene. But I think at the end of that day, there was a lot of questions. There was a lot of gossip in the air, like it's going to be a reshoot. What did we sign up for? I guess people, if I'm looking back now, and maybe in the discussion we'll discuss this, but I think some of the people might have stayed because they saw the equipment and they saw the sheer amount of people that committed their time to the role. However, I truthfully don't know why people did stay after that first day. You know, I know why they stayed in the aftermath because things got better. But I remember having a meeting after that first day of shooting. I said, we got our ass kicked. That wasn't good. That was blatantly embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I feel like there was no organization. Like there needs to be rules of engagement. Like people need to know where they're going, what's being done for everything. Like you can't just have a bunch of makeup artists coming in to do makeup on people without knowing what they're doing. I mean, maybe we want people to look disheveled. Maybe we want people to have a natural look. Why are they getting why is random people getting their makeup done anyways? Is it necessary? So like, these are things that we thought of as we went on. And this is just the tip. This is just day one, you know. And I'm probably not, in the discussion, we're probably gonna have a whole lot more shit to talk about. But it gradually got more chaotic as days progressed as well. Little things like asking for permission from an establishment to use to film. I'll tell you right now, most establishments will allow you to film in their location. They really will. People, when they see camera equipment, they get excited. You know, it's exciting to have a film shoot at a location. However, a lot of businesses don't understand what it entails when you come to their business. So I guess there was a misunderstanding when we went to one of the restaurants, and they told us basically, we're not closing our doors. So we were trying to film while there was customers coming in and out of the doors, making all this noise. But there's no way. So and they didn't realize the time commitment of shooting either, and neither did we. This was our very first film, so we're thinking we'll be in and out in like an hour. Never, never, ever in a million years. So at the last whim, magic happened. Um, our production manager at the time just started going to random businesses in the vicinity of this parking lot of where this other business was. And this Mexican restaurant was like, hell, why not? We'll just close for a few hours. So we end up shooting in this Mexican restaurant, this really ridiculous interview scene with the main character, Jaden, who literally, like, I cringe when I see the scene, not because of poor acting, basically because of poor writing. We had a character who had literally had a disability, like an injury, and she was getting made fun of during a scene about it, and I like regret it to this day. We always talk. I actually talked about with the actress that played that part. We had a lot of discussions after the fact, and she actually became a great ally to our production with other locations. But the scene we shot that we went through all this headache with ended up getting cut in the end result, anyways. So it was like, what was the point? But the thing is, there's a lot of things that happen throughout the production that, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But it just gradually gets more entertaining as it goes on.